Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to another video. If you're new here, my name is Josh and I'm so glad that you're here. If you enjoyed the video, then give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and follow me on my IG. Anyways, it's Vlogmas Day 10, and what we're gonna do today is, in today's video, I'm gonna show you how to play chess. And I don't mean like the absolutely bigger positions that you see all these chess books that are like advanced and show all the games of all the different masters and stuff. I'm going to teach you the basics 101. You know, chess is one of those games that it's pretty easy to learn. It's kind of impossible for a human to master completely. And also, it's a lot of fun for the kids, you know. If you have a dad and a son, or cousins, an aunt and a kid, or a mom and kid, you know, it's kind of fun. It's easy to teach them, and it's also a good strategy game. And I think a lot of people usually play it. Most people, I think, know how to, but sometimes I think they forget how the pieces move, or you'll often hear the one who's like, yeah, I know how to play, but I forget what's it called when you protect the king or when you capture. So we're going to cover some of that in today's video. And so without further ado, I'm going to teach you how to play chess. So one of the things that people actually question is whether the black square or the white square goes on which side. And to answer your question, make it very, very simple. The white square is always on the right side. And that applies for both sides, both black and white. Chess has 64 squares, 32 black, 32 white. And the white ones are always on the right side, as you can see. These letters and numbers are what you call chess notation, and that comes in handy for later once you get pretty advanced and you start playing tournaments and you have to record moves. I'm not going to teach you how to do that in today's video. Maybe in a later video I will. But anyways, white is always on the right side. White is right. I know that can be taken out of perspective in today's world, but that's how I say it. White is right, as in the right side. So that's the first thing that you have to remember, because I see people play with the black square on the right side, and it's like, no, it's on the white side. Chess has 32 pieces, and we're going to talk about how each piece moves, and then we'll talk about how to set up the pieces. Starting off with the very basic, this guy right here is called a pawn. And a pawn is your foot soldier on the chessboard. He can move 1 or 2 spaces in the first time. The first time is the only time that he can move 2 squares. So if he moves 2 on the opening, when it's his turn again, he cannot go another 2 squares. He has to go 1 at a time. How to capture an enemy pawn? Well, an enemy pawn is captured via diagonal. So if I play here, black plays here. Pawns only capture diagonally. They do not capture moving forward. So if there's something like this and something like this, you cannot capture him like that. That pawn is stuck. And the only way that you can get him unstuck is by playing something like this. Your opponent captures the pawn and you keep moving forward. So that's how the pawns move. Next piece that we're looking at is called the rook. And as you can see, the rook looks like a castle. And a rook can move vertically or horizontally. And moving horizontally, they're called files. And moving vertically, they're called ranks. So number 7, like the 7th rank, 2, the 2nd rank, 1st rank, 4th rank, etc. And A, B, C, D file, etc., etc. And rooks cannot jump over pieces, but they can go as many squares as they are unhindered. So let's say that I have a pawn here. At most, you can play to here. And rooks do not capture diagonally. Rooks will capture moving forward. So if I have an enemy piece here, I cannot capture with the pawn as we established, but I can capture with the rook. Just like so. That's how the rooks move. Next up, the knights. So the knight is the horse-looking piece, and I think that this is the piece that a lot of players struggle with. because they often forget how they move. Knights move 3 squares, but they move in an L shape. They do not move diagonally, and they do not move straight. They move in an L shape because it's established as like this. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, etc. And also, the knight can jump over pieces. It's the only piece that has the ability to jump over. So no other piece can do this. The knight can go 1, 2, 3 over its piece or an opponent's piece. And the knight can actually go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It gets to jump over pieces, and that's how it captures as well, which is a great convenience because there may not always be something there. So 1, 2, 3, you can capture that piece. You cannot capture both pieces that it jumps over. It captures the piece on the 3rd square if indeed a piece is sitting there. Also, thus far, it's important to note that every other piece can move backward except for the pawns. Pawns do not move backwards. That's how the knight moves. Next up, the bishop. So this is the bishop, and a bishop can only move diagonally. So as long as it's unhindered, it can move as many squares as it wants. So it can move all the way to here, all the way back, here, here, just so long as it's not hindered. So if it's like this, you have to go here, then you can go there, or you can go here and there, but you cannot jump over. And bishops also move backwards, as I said. And next up, the queen. The queen's the most powerful piece that you're gonna have in the game. And next to the king, it's the second, I think, most important piece. That's just my mind, though. The queen is always on her own color. So that's something important to note, that a queen, when you start, is never starting on the opposite color. So if it's a black queen, it never starts on a white square. In the setup, it always starts on a dark square. But what's cool about the queen here is that she can go in any direction except for the L shape like the knight. So she can move diagonally, she can move forward, she can move backwards, she can go left and right, just as long as there's no pieces in the way. And if we have a thing there and 2 pawns here, the queen can actually go all the way down and capture as long as it's unhindered. That's why she's so powerful, because she's virtually unlimited, except for the knights, and also she can't jump over pieces. Knight's the only piece that can do that. Now let's talk about the most important piece on the board, and I think you know which one it is. This is the king, and this is the most important piece that you can have. The king is on the opposite color, and the king can move 1 space in any direction as long as it's not hindered. The king is the most important because this is what keeps the game alive. If your king gets checkmated, you know, that's how you lose the game. So he can move in any direction, only 1 square at a time. Just like this, backwards, forwards, it doesn't matter, diagonally, left, right, but not like the queen, where she can go anywhere that she wants. Now what I'm going to do is tell you how to set up the pieces. So how to set up the pieces, pawns always go in front of the bigger pieces. Just like this, pawns are sometimes called foot soldiers because they're how you get a game started, and they're always in front. So you play like this, start off with a rook. A rook always goes on either corner. The knights go next to the rooks. The bishops always go next to the knights. And then this is where you have to pay attention. Like I said, the queen is on her own color, just like that. And the king is on the opposite color. And the same would apply for black. I don't think I need to set up all the pieces, but I'm going to anyways, because I'm actually going to be playing here in a little bit. Just like this. You may be wondering, so that, my friends, is how the board gets set up. It's also important to know that white always moves first. And that's just something basic. I was going to show you how the pieces move. That gives you a general idea. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this chess tutorial. I just wanted it to be very, very simple, just how the pieces moved, so that it was nice and easy to explain to a kid and you guys could start playing right away. Guys, that's going to wrap up my chess tutorial for Vlogmas. Hope that you enjoy it. Hopefully you guys can play some games together. I'm actually going to pop my chess.com link down in the description so that we can actually play. And maybe you guys can challenge me to a game or two. I'd be more than happy to play with you and take you on. Guys, if you enjoy it, give it a thumbs up, follow me on my IG, and then also, subscribe to my channel. I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace out, and good night.